Hi, everyone. This is Kathy. Welcome to my channel, Kathy Mamolen, Psychic Medium. Today, we're going to ask Spirit a hard question. And we want to know, should I give up on this connection? And is it time to move on? Very difficult place to be, always a hard decision. So a little bit of shadow work today. So we're going to ask Spirit, what's going to go on in this connection? Is it time to move on? And if so, does Spirit have something else for me ahead of me? Okay, so I have three choices, group A, B, and C. I want you to take a moment, take a deep breath, think about your connection, think about yourself, and listen to the guided messages. Please take with you what resonates, leave the rest behind. I will put the timestamps in the description below. If you picked group A, this reading is for you. We're going to ask Spirit, should I give up on this connection, and is it time to move on? So let's get some cards on this table. We're going to do lots of questions, lots of answers from Spirit today about this, because it's a very difficult spot to be in. Let's just get some cards on the table. I have a Five of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and I have a Temperance. Okay, so a couple things are jumping out at me right out of the gate. My Five of Pentacles, this sense of we keep going through things, things keep happening to us. It's difficult times, difficult challenges. And, we just keep being hit with things, one thing after another. Maybe there's nobody's fault. I'm going to say it that way. But I just feel like I'm always in this kind of storm with this person. I feel like I'm always, there's always something, there's always some kind of drama. There's always something that, every time I turn around, it's like we can't get a break. I can't get a break. So, my Five of Pentacles is we can move on. We can weather any storm. But sometimes we get to the point where we're just tired of the storms. We're tired of there's always something going on, right? I'm starting to think about what is it that I want? What is it that I want? I want to be in love. I want to feel desired. I want to feel connected. I want something more, they just said. So maybe we're just starting to tap into our own energy, and we're starting to just say, what's in it for me? And can I be happy? And if I was to go out and to start a different relationship, is there new love out there for me? Would I be happier with someone else? Do I want to start over? And usually when we're towards the end of a relationship, we start to imagine ourselves being single again. And that's usually your first sign that you really are ready to move on, because otherwise you wouldn't be thinking along those lines. But you're starting to think about, I could have feelings for somebody else, or what if there's something better for me out there? And, all I know is that the person that I'm with right now, I don't have everything that I want, and I don't know if I'm ever going to, is how it just came into me. I love this person. I've cared about this person. But maybe they're not somebody that I wouldn't build a life around, or I see myself being in a committed relationship with them, or even having children with them in the future. So I don't have this kind of feeling of I could have it all with them. I could have a lot with them, but I might not have everything that I feel like I really want. Then I have this energy of if I look at these two cards, I'm tired. I'm tired of the struggles. Like, I want more balance in my life. Either we're fighting all the time, there's always something, some kind of issue, there's always something that comes up. And I just want to get back to having kind of, being at peace with myself. It's like, it shouldn't be this hard, Spirit just said. So if your relationship has become hard or difficult, or you feel like you are constantly defending yourself in some way, let's see what my cards are saying. I have beloved radical acceptance. Okay. Accepting where I'm at. All right. So this is like the burning flame in my heart, right? Seeing where I'm at. Let's see. A refusal to call. Okay. Is somebody not reaching out to you? Like, are you getting the silent treatment, like, or do they have a tendency to play those games with you? With some people, like, push you away and say, I just don't want to talk right now. And they just kind of like walk away. So maybe there's something going on with that. There's choices and there are consequences. Has something happened in this connection that they made that choice? They chose that path. They made a decision to talk to somebody else or to be with somebody else, or the way that they talk to you. Those are all decisions that they made. Your communication, how you guys are talking to each other. So just there's consequences to their actions, right? And maybe those are becoming clearer to you. A stranger, curiosity. Somebody may have that Page of Cups. Somebody may have come into your life that you're thinking about, or is there somebody out there that I would be interested in? So that door is starting to open up a little bit with just being curious as to, what else could be out there. I have a heart home, compassion. You still have feelings for this person. It's harder to leave somebody when you still care about them. It's easier when you hate them and you're mad at them and you just end it and you never talk to them again. But if you still have feelings for this person, you still care about them, that is very difficult. But sometimes we move on because we're kind of saving ourselves. A possibility for a union. Okay, I have a sky bridge. Can we bridge the gap that's between us? I guess the question is, can we stop this drama that's going on around us? Can we stop this feeling of, I'm thinking about I'd want to be with somebody else? Can we stop this bridge between us? The stars in the sky. Look at her. She's sitting on this arch, just kind of like thinking about the possibilities that are out there. Just remember, you always have a choice, right? There's no right or wrong decision. Spirit will guide you and will help you to make the final decision. If you're not ready to make it, just sit quietly and you're in limbo. You're ready to cross the bridge one way or another, right? And think about the possibilities. What does my future look like without this person? What would my future look like if I stayed? And just keep asking Spirit to help you to see this connection clearer. The perfect storm, the courage to step into a new life. Now, there may be a storm brewing. There may have been storms in the past that have brought you to the point where you're like, you know what, I just need to have the courage to move on. And that's what we're asking. Should I give up on this connection? Is it time to move on? And if you are ready to move on, Spirit will give you the courage and you'll be okay. And they have something probably better for you. A wailing tree. I'm sad. Or do we want to consider reconciliation? Do we want to repair? Do we want to repair what we have? Are we willing to repair what we have? Is it worth fighting for? Is Spirit just asked. So you have a lot of shadow work to do right now with what your feelings are. And I do feel like they're trying to help bring those feelings to the surface. There are hidden blessings in this connection. Okay. So not every aspect of this relationship is hurtful or painful. Look for the things in this connection that you still enjoy, that you're still grateful for, that you still see as a blessing in your life. And maybe that will help you decide one way or another. I have respect. I have respect for myself. That usually is the ultimate deciding factor is, do I feel like I'm being respected? Do I feel like I deserve more respect? Spirit just said, look at you. You're beautiful. You're stunning. Your energy is radiating off of you. So you do have this respect. It's like, that's all I want. I want the person who I'm sharing my life with to respect me. And if that is something that you're even questioning, then that is something that is very, very hard to you have to have respect. You have to feel that you're respected. Is it a sincere relationship? Are there feelings being sincere to you? Are we connecting on all levels? Is it just intimacy and physical? Or are they there for me emotionally? Are they there for me at other times? Are their intentions pure? So those are all things that maybe you're asking yourself right now, and Spirit's just helping you to clarify. Accepting. Now, she looks like she's ready to ride forward. It looks like she's moving forward, right? She's kind of riding these fish. Accepting. Am I ready to accept what's ahead of me? Am I ready to move forward with this change in my life? Can I see myself, without this person? Can I see myself as starting over? If that's the case, if that's what you're starting to think about. Boundaries. Or, can this relationship continue with new boundaries? Can I put new parameters on this connection? So the boundaries, have the boundaries been crossed in any way, Spirit? An unconditional love. You deserve unconditional love. You deserve respect. You deserve a sincere relationship. Do you feel like this person loves you unconditionally? Are they there for you no matter what? I don't know. Part of me is feeling like I'm really struggling with some of these basic questions. Like you may be thinking, sometimes I feel like they love me, and other times I feel like it's all about them. Spirit, please share with me. I have a 6 of Wands in reverse. So I'm not feeling as strong about this connection as I once did. I'm not feeling like it's moving forward, or they're excited to be with me, something like that. I have an Emperor and a Queen of Swords. It's like we need to talk. It's not just about them and their ego. It's my feelings and my what's going on with me. And part of me feels like I put a lot of energy into them. Maybe it's more one-sided than we want to be, but we need to talk to this person. If these feelings, if there's any shot at saving this and we want to stay in this connection, then the first thing we need to do is we need to share our feelings and our thoughts and our energy. I have a Page of Pentacles. I have the Page of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. So I'm thinking about what else is out there. So again, I feel like I have one foot out the door, my Group A. I feel like some of you are still lingering. You're still holding on to, well, things could get better. But at the same time, you get one foot out the door with this energy of there could be something better. There could be something that I could start. I just want to feel, like I come first. I'm going to say it that way. I want somebody that's loyal, trustworthy, reliable, somebody who honors and respects me. Okay. That is a priority. I feel like, I know I keep saying the same thing, but I feel like respect is the number one thing going on with this reading. It's like something about, like, I just don't feel like they respect me anymore. And it's not fair to me. Communication, expressing feelings, messaging, maybe we don't talk about our feelings. Maybe we've gotten to the point in this connection where we no longer even share that. I have starting fresh, a new chapter, clean slate, and starting over. That's an option that I'm starting to think I can start a whole new chapter in my life. That spirit would have someone else for me that I could talk to. Some new passion, new chemistry, a spark with that new page of cups, somebody that I have new feelings for and I have a spark for. So if you're not feeling sparks, if you're not feeling passion for the person that you're with anymore, and you just feel like you're just going through the motions, but you feel sad because they've been in your life for a while, it's sad to move on. It's really sad. Somebody that I'm going to message and talk to, communication, somebody that may reach out to you and message you now. I have some celebrations ahead of me, some good times ahead of me. Not all of it is difficult. Not all of it is drama and challenging and hard. I have some good times ahead of me. I want to open up my heart. I want to allow somebody into my heart again. That is the most important. I want to feel like I'm loved, that cozy cup of coffee. I want to feel like I'm loved. And I want to spend time with somebody. I want that time to be enjoyable, pleasant, and most of all, I want them to want to be with me. So I feel like you have one foot in and one foot out the door. And I can't tell you how to make this decision, but Spirit asked you, listen to this reading a couple of times, because Spirit asked you to answer some very specific shadow work questions today. So write down those questions and then write down your feelings, and maybe that will help you get closer to making a decision about, should I give up on this connection, and is it time for me to move on? I want to thank Spirit for this reading today. If you picked Group B, this reading is for you. We're doing some shadow work today because we're on the fence with, should I give up on this connection and is it time to move on? Which is a very difficult place to be. So we're asking Spirit for some guidance, some work that we need to do to help us make this decision. And any evidence that Spirit has for us to let us know that, we have a path ahead of us that's meant for us. So we can get through making this decision. So if you're in the middle of deciding what to do next, let's see. I have the Four of Pentacles. I have Temperance. I have a Chariot. I have the Justice card. And I have the Sun. Okay, so I have a lot of new beginning energy, moving on energy. I'll be honest with you. The first thing that came into me was the sense of, I feel like I have been, guarding myself, protecting myself, making sure that nobody is coming towards me. Maybe I feel insecure in this connection. This person has not ever made me feel like I have a future with them, or that we're in it both for the long run, something like that. So this insecurity in the sense of, I don't know where I stand in this connection, I feel like has been adding up. And I've been probably putting myself into a space of, I want to be alone more and more, because when somebody isn't providing you emotional support, you have a tendency to kind of cocoon and go inside of yourself. So you may have found yourself like, how come I feel alone in a relationship? And that's probably what's going on. I feel alone in a relationship. Spirit saying you're a Chariot, it's a sense of moving on, full speed ahead, like we may have something so much better for you. I do have the number 8. That's my Chariot card number, but the number 8 just jumped out. It could be August is very important. Maybe that's a big transition mark for you, or something, a big change in your life in August. But it is the sense of I'm moving on and I'm getting my head around it. Maybe you want something else. Part of me feels like I had the Justice card and the Sun come in, and maybe the person that you've been with, you don't want the same things. So I have a new beginning for somebody that wants to, see if I can get this to focus. Please, Spirit, focus. I have this energy of somebody who wants what I want. If you want to be in a committed relationship, you would like to be married, you would like, a family someday. And this person isn't giving you that emotional security, saying that we're moving in that direction, then you just automatically are probably saying, well, this isn't what I want, and they're not ever going to give me what I want. So you may be just deciding based on something like that. Let's see where else we're going. But I do feel like you're starting to think about moving on. Especially with this sense of I feel alone even when I'm in a relationship. And that's a very difficult place to be. I have a new beginning. I have fear with that moon. Okay. I have fear of a new beginning because I hate starting over. Starting over is really hard. And then you start to say, well, what if it's worse than what I have? But what if it's better? What if Spirit has somebody that's coming into your life that wants a commitment, wants a life with you, wants to give you everything that you want? Look at this. Rest and renewal. Look at all these blooming flowers around you, this garden of Venus. Okay. If you end this relationship, what will happen is you'll just take a break, you'll do some healing, and then you're going to re-blossom. And then you're going to enter into this paradise feeling of now I'm available to bring the love that is meant to be in my life into my life. And I do trust writing in the sky, right? I trust destiny. I trust fate. I trust that Spirit has something better for me, because what I have right now is not fulfilling me. And I don't see it improving. It's like, it's nice, but I don't see it improving. And sometimes I have to surrender. And surrendering isn't giving in. Surrendering is being aware of something in my life that's no longer working for me, and having the willingness to say, I tried this connection, but it's not in alignment with me, and that's okay. So I'm going to let it go, and I'm going to believe that Spirit has something else for me. Because sometimes we have to just do what's in our own best interests. And as hard as that is, as scary that is, we have to take that bold step forward, right? We have to open these new gates and allow this new light to shine in, and just be willing to step forward. Just be willing to trust that Spirit has something else for us. I'm spinning my wheels in this relationship, or this relationship isn't going anywhere, and I feel like I'm literally wasting time, and all we have is time. And all of a sudden, Spirit says, your time is about to change. You have luck and right timing on your side. You have divine timing on your side. So everything happens in divine timing, and because of the choices that we make, right? We make wise choices to keep us moving on our path. So it is the sense of, I know I need to move on, but it's just hard. I have a spirit of the river, movement towards an adventure. Now, when I think of a river flows in one direction. It moves forward, right? Moves onward. So you're about ready to start even another adventure in your life. And unfortunately, you may have to close the door on a relationship that was in your life for a reason, but maybe you have maxed out that connection. You learned the lessons that you needed to learn from that connection, and it is time to move on. and it is a very difficult decision. I have overwhelmed and plenty. Emotional overload. So when we're in the state of, I don't know what to do. If you're not ready to make the decision today, don't make the decision today. Just ask Spirit every day, should I make a decision today? And if the answer is no, then just keep going on. If the answer is yes, then you'll see it crystal clear. Okay, you'll no longer be emotionally overloaded when it's harder to make the decision than it is to actually pull the trigger. Okay, so just take the emotions as they come. You don't have to make a decision today. Spirits is asking you to do some shadow work today to help you identify your feelings in this connection so that you see what is ahead of you crystal clear. Set your intention on what your future is. You can see she's kind of riding into her future, right? She's on this magical unicorn. And it's like, what's ahead of me? I have a whole life ahead of me. What is it that you want? What's important to you? If the person that you're with has no intention of ever wanting a formal commitment, and that's something that's important to you, then your intention is, I want to attract somebody in my life who wants the same thing that I want. Okay, that would be an example of your intention. You want to commit to your happiness. Okay, if you're not happy today, I feel alone, right? I feel alone. I'm alone in a relationship. I don't feel connected to this person. I'm not getting emotional fulfillment from this person. It's not somebody else's responsibility. I have 12:12 on the clock when I'm recording this. So you do have an angel number supporting you during this reading, Group B. It's not somebody else's responsibility to make you happy, but you want to be happy because you're in a connection. It's like, I shouldn't be unhappy when I'm with somebody. The unexpected, here I am kind of unhappy and sad and not sure where my connection is going, not sure where we're headed. And then all of a sudden on the other side is this light and this beautiful castle and rainbows and fairies and butterflies. And it's like, what's on the other side? What does Spirit have for me? I shouldn't be afraid of what Spirit has for me, especially when they're saying, luck and timing is on my side. Receive the healing that Spirit's going to give you, this sense of overwhelming emotions, trying to make a decision one way or another. Receive the blessing, receive the healing as it comes. And know that even if you have a broken heart, even if you are the one that decides to end this, and they didn't break your heart, you did it to yourself. Know it's because you did it for your future. Know that it's because you did it because you believe that there's something better for you, or that Spirit has something that's more fulfilling for you. Know what your triggers are. What is upsetting to you in this connection? What makes you happy? What doesn't make you happy? What's the repeat pattern over and over again of each of those feelings? And Spirit's asking you to do the work. So, when Spirit asks you a question, you can go back into this video and you can write down these questions and then you can answer them on your own time. Like, what are your triggers? What is happening over and over again in this relationship that keeps hurting you? Okay. And is it a repeat pattern? And is it something that we could heal from? Is it something we could repair? Spirit, please share with me some guidance. Should I give up on this connection? Is it time to move on? What else do you have for me? I have a Death card. The Death card is, it's a time for change. For every ending, there's a new beginning, right? So I'm not afraid of a Death card because a Death card gives me an opportunity to put some closure to a chapter in my life. And it gives me an opportunity to move on. I have a Devil, geez Louise, and I have a Tower. So either the karmic, situation has become very difficult, and I'm just waiting for my world to blow up. So before my world blows up or things get worse, maybe Spirit's saying, you know what, maybe you get out now. I have an Ace of Swords. It's for you to decide. The answers are going to come. You'll probably have that aha moment where you say, I don't want to do this anymore. This is very difficult for me. And I want to be happy. I want a happy home, a happy family. That's all I'm asking for. And the question is, will I ever have it with this person? And if the answer is no, then Spirit's saying, well, we have that for you. We have that for you. You know, it's you're amazing. Look at you. You are a gem. No one compares to you. So you want to be treated this way. You want to be treated like you are amazing. You're number one. You're the only one. They also just said. Rose-colored glasses. See past the illusion and the unkept promises. Is your person telling you things over and over again and then not holding them true? You know, are they not keeping the words? Not unkept promises. Sugarcoating things, artificial expressions, you know, keep saying things like, you know, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to change. And then what are the triggers? You know, what keeps happening over and over again? A pattern of behavior that is hurting. Is it lies, betrayal? You know, is there a consistent pattern of behavior going on here? Unrequited love, not the same anymore. It's lost its spark. You know, like the feelings that I had for you, because of whatever's going on in this connection, it's taken away the spark. It's taken away the romance. I now have trust issues. I feel insecure. You know, I never felt insecure about myself before, but now all of a sudden I feel insecure. I'm sad. It's painful. You know, I have these days where I'm always hurting, and that is not what Spirit wants for you. Spirit does not want all this chaos and fighting in your life, this drama, a tower moment. Spirit does not want you to have that. Spirit wants you to move on. Okay, so moving on. Look at, I don't know if you're going to have a party in a car, but, you know, moving on. And sometimes it is a relief off our shoulders. You know, it's hard to say goodbye. It's hard to end something. But sometimes it's such a tremendous weight off our shoulders. Free yourself, free the burdens, the stress, and the negativity. Make a wish. What is it that my heart wants? What is it that I want? There's a transformation ready to happen. Through all this pain, I'm going to rise up like a phoenix rising. Through all this pain and hurt, I'm going to transform. I'm going to get through this. I will see another side and I will be happy. It's just when you're in it, it's so difficult. Spirit's honor asking you, is part of what's going on that you guys aren't on the same page with your values or your morals or a commitment. You know, like, do you both have the same, you know, where you both want to end up? You may be totally on a different page. Spirit may say you have a soulmate out there looking for you, waiting for you. You can't be in this connection when your soulmate is out there searching for you. I have some healing to do in this process. So even if it's painful, even if this is going to hurt and I'm going to suffer, I'm going to heal. And I know that I trust Spirit. And the most important thing, thank you, Spirit, is I believe in divine timing. I believe in fated destiny. I feel like Spirit has something out there for you. I think Spirit has your soulmate connection out there waiting for you. Because if this was truly your soulmate connection, who you're with, you wouldn't be feeling lonely in a relationship. Okay, so you've got some shadow work to do. Some of the questions that Spirit asked you to work on down and then write down your answers so that you can become crystal clear as to what it is that you want for your future. So you can answer your own question, is it time for me to move on? I want to thank Spirit for this reading today. If you picked Group C, this reading is for you. Today we're asking Spirit, should I give up on this connection? And is it time for me to move on? Which is a very difficult place to be. So you must be struggling in your connection, or you wouldn't be even interested in this reading. So let's see if Spirit can help you today. The 8 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Ace of Cups, 5 of Wands, and I have a Hierophant. Okay, so part of me feels like this is a struggle, but the other half of me says, even if we're struggling, I still believe that we could be happy. I still believe that, I don't know. I still feel like I'm holding on to something. I don't know. I'm having a hard time with this. Let's see where we're headed. Hard work, right? Hard work. Somebody asked me recently, it shouldn't be so hard. Right? And it shouldn't. A relationship is, yes, we put time into each other and we both are there for each other. But if it's constantly a battle, if it's constantly hard work, and there's always kind of fighting and there's always this kind of back and forth going on, and we're never really at peace with each other, then that is very difficult. All right. And it looks like you have, I don't know whether it's with this person yet or not, but it looks like you have somebody that's going to make you very happy. Okay. I feel completely fulfilled, happy home, happy life. We have it all together. So if it's not going to be this person, it's someone else. I also have somebody that has the same belief system as you, that we either believe in a committed relationship, we believe that we were meant to be together, we're following our morals, our values, those types of things. So somebody that's more on the same page as you. But the 5 of Wands is jumping out at me in the respect that I feel like it's hard work to stay in this connection. It's hard work to keep this connection going for some reason. I have an empty well. I feel empty. I feel empty. Maybe this connection isn't emotionally fulfilling. Are you feeling, because either somebody may be putting their energy into other areas of their lives, you're not coming first, but you are emotionally having a hard time. I have repairing the veil, forgiveness with this battle. I don't know. Maybe somebody owes you an apology. Maybe you feel like you haven't been treated fairly lately. There's a lot of obstacles. That's what's going on. I definitely feel that. I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know, maybe we don't feel as emotionally connected as we should. Maybe we're not as intimate as we should. Maybe we're going through the motions. We're sharing the same house. We're like roommates. And we're polite to each other. We're nice to each other, but we're not as intimate with each other as we used to be. And there's all these obstacles in front of us that maybe have become too difficult to climb. A big wall. Spirit's saying, believe in your own magic, your confidence, believe in who you are. Like if you're starting to feel like you're losing your identity or you're not achieving the goals that you want to achieve because you're in this relationship. So Spirit's saying, don't give up on your own power. Okay. Like don't let the situation drag you down. I guess I want to say it that way. Charging ahead, a herald of change. Are you ready for a change? Are you ready to get back on the horse? Are you ready to start again, try again? You don't want to feel empty, Spirit just said. That's really bothering you. This feeling of why do I feel emotionally void? A tidy house, clarity. I guess you're trying to figure out what it is that you want. And sometimes when we are looking at these types of decisions, it takes us a long time to actually decide to leave a relationship. All right. Now, what's jumping out at me is this little baby door. Like, what's behind that door? Like if I were to open that door, what is behind the next door? And when we don't know what's behind the next door, we stay where we are, because the fear of opening an unknown door is scarier than the situation that we're in. But I guess I need to know, like, why I feel so empty. Drifter, experiencing life as it comes. Are you just going through the motions? Are you to the point in this connection, because maybe you've been in it for a while, like, I'm just going through the motions, I'm not really putting any effort into it, it is what it is. And is that enough for you? Spirit just asked, is that enough for you? Is that enough for you for the rest of your life, to just go through the motions? Are you ready to close the door? Are you thinking about closing this door? And that is the hardest part. Like, am I ready to close this chapter of my life? Am I ready to actually move on? And, what's on the other side? What is out there for me? So that is what I feel like we're struggling with right now. It's like, I'm just going through the motions. I'm just going with the flow. Yeah. And I don't know, is going with the flow good enough? Sometimes going with the flow is great. I'm content. I'm happy. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want any major changes in my life. And if that's the case, then you want to stay where you are and you're not ready to move on. But if you're going with the flow just because it's easier and you don't want to, change your life, and you're afraid of what else is out there, or you're afraid of being alone, then that's a whole different situation. So that is probably some shadow work that you need to work on. I have reawaken to who it is that you are. This is like a little girl, right? It's like the inner child that's in you. Like finding yourself again. Sometimes we get lost within a relationship. Sometimes we start to lose, like, what is important to me? We get so consumed with helping make that other person successful, or helping put out their fires, making sure that all their needs are being met, that we kind of somehow lose sight of what's important to us. And maybe there's an inner child in you that's saying, I feel like I want something else, or I feel like I'm not where I want to be. Reliable. The only person you can rely on is yourself, your own inner voice. It's like she's listening to her own inner music, right? The only person at the end of the day you can really rely on is yourself. It's only you that can make this decision. It's you. It's your path. No one else gets a vote as to who you're in a relationship with, if it's going to end, when it ends, if you want to stay in that relationship. So you are responsible for your own destiny in that respect. So these answers are all within you, as Spirit's saying. Listen to your body. Okay, what's your body telling you? What's your intuition telling you? Are you still turned on by this person? Do you still feel physically connected to this person? Do you want to make love to this person? Or are you going through the motions? Are you just doing, staying in this relationship because it's easy and I don't want a big change in my life? I love these butterflies. These butterflies, these are pulling you forward, this forward movement. I want to move forward. Spirit's saying I'm just afraid. It's like she looks so happy, right? She's just kind of floating and the butterflies are pulling her. And, I wish it was that easy. I wish we could just like float into our future and not have any consequences to our decisions. But when we make a decision, it affects others. It affects us. It might affect them. It affects sometimes children. And, so all of those things have to be taken into consideration. The alternative, what else is out there, right? Are you thinking about what your life would look like in the future? If I didn't have this person in my life, what would my life look like? Would I be happier? Would I find somebody else? Does Spirit have somebody else for me? And I almost feel like this is a little magic wand, like wave your wand, because Spirit has some alternatives out there for you or some choices for you. And maybe there is somebody else that they want you to be with. So we're having, a hard time. Control. Are you in control? Are you in control? Are you in control of your future? Or are you staying in a relationship because you feel bad? Like people stay in relationships sometimes because they'll say, well, if I leave that person, then they're going to be alone. Okay, but you're not happy. It's not your job to make somebody else happy. It's not your job to stay in a relationship because you want to make their life comfortable and you don't want their life to change. But if you're not happy, the number one question you have to ask yourself is your happiness? Are we holding on to what it was, reminiscing about how things used to be? Sometimes we stay in a connection a lot longer because it was really, really good in the beginning. It was really fun and we want that back. But sometimes time, like we've maxed out that relationship. We've done everything that we're supposed to do in that connection. We've learned all the lessons that we were supposed to do in the connection. And we hold on to all those kind of past memories and think, that is what we could have again. But if it doesn't ever move back into that, then we're just going in circles, right? Cycles, repeat patterns. Those the people out there that struggle with on again, off again relationships, and we're holding on to those memories of it was really good once, and I just want that back. So if you're having repeat cycles of, it's just so hard. I just feel like we just keep having the same fights, that Five of Wands. I feel denied. I feel like I'm locked out. I feel a void. Emotionally, I don't feel as connected to you as I used to. And maybe somebody has locked you out of their heart, or you've locked them out. It's like we're just not as intimate, Spirit said, as we used to be. So that is very difficult. Off the hook, ignoring you on purpose, silent treatment. I need space. I'll let you know how I feel when I know what I feel. You don't deserve any of those energies. You don't deserve to wait for somebody else. You don't deserve to have somebody not listen to you. Somebody who isn't listening, thinking that they're always right. They're not listening to your feelings. So sometimes you get to the point where you don't even want to say what you feel anymore because it doesn't even matter. But you do matter, Spirit just said. You do matter. I have confusion, judgmental, misunderstandings. I don't know how to feel right now. And sometimes we need time to just think about, am I ready to leave this connection? All I can tell you is if you're not ready, then stay in the connection and just keep keep thinking about what you can do to heal this connection, or stay in it and think about what's ahead. Is there a new pathway for me? Is there a new beginning for me? If I go out there and I plant new seeds and start talking to new people, am I going to bloom again? Am I going to feel fulfilled again? Am I going to feel loved again? Am I going to bring love into my life again? Nice. New door. Is there a new door to open? A new experience? Yes, I love this person. And yes, I have great memories with this person. But is there somebody else that I can create new memories with? Is there a new door for me to open? Does Spirit want to bring somebody new into me? A new offer of love, new romance of love, fulfillment, they just said. Filling that void, romance. Maybe it's been a long time that you felt that somebody wants to, make you feel romantic. Stubborn, hard-headed, talking to a brick wall. I'm not getting through to my person. We're going round and round in circles. I'm having a very difficult time communicating with them. It's like we just keep fighting about the same things over and over again. I have a lot of fear in this connection. I feel like a lot of feelings are being hidden. I feel like things are being left unsaid. I don't know how to break the cycle. I don't know how to break through, they just said. It's like I don't know how to break through to this person anymore. I have summer with warm, positive vibes. And I have step forward with momentum, maybe moving into the summer. I make a decision to move forward, move on. I finally get sick of going round and round with somebody. And part of me feels like, I don't know, it's like the void is how this reading really came into me. I don't feel as intimate with this person as I need to be or I want to be. I don't feel as close to this person as I need to be. We don't communicate about our feelings. And I feel like I'm just living in this vicious cycle of going round and round with the same issues. So what I want you to do is you can listen to this again. And you listen to some of the questions that Spirit asked of you, your shadow work today. Write the questions down. Write down your answers. And there will be a day that you decide. You will either decide and start communicating better with this person and you guys will continue, or you will be given very clear understanding and clarity that it is time for you to move on. And that you've had a good time with this person, but it's met its end, and that Spirit maybe has something new for you. So very, very difficult place to be. I want you to do the work. That's why it's called shadow work, because it's hard. I want you to do the work, and the answers are inside of you. I want to thank Spirit for this reading today.